All right, welcome to this particular session. In this video, we want to demonstrate how you can actually install a Windows server. In our own server, we are going to use the server instance 2022. So we'll demonstrate how you can install the Windows Server 2022 and join a client to it as well, to be able to manage the client centrally. So our client is going to be Windows 11. So for us to start, you are going to visit this website here and then click on this to download the 64 bits. Then also, once you click on this, the download will start. But in my own case, look at it, I've already downloaded the server, so I'm going to pause the download or simply stop it. Then the Windows 11, which is the client, you also visit this website to download the Windows 11. Click on, scroll down, come here, select the image Windows 11 ISO, and then confirm. Once that is done, select the language. US is what I'm using, English US. Then click on confirm. So once that is done, you will see the 64 bit. So click on it and then it starts downloading this way. So I've already downloaded this, so I'm just going to pause this as well. So if I now go back to my downloads, you can see I have Windows Server and then I have Windows 11 here. Now let us download the tool that we are going to use to, because the virtual lab. So we need a virtualization tool that will sit on our guest OS, which is this existing Windows 11 we are using. So we want to use VMware to host it. So visit this site here to download VMware. Click on this workstation, Windows workstation, VMware Workstation Pro. This is the version. Then scroll down. Just hold on. I'm not going through the official website, but you can actually go there. I just like to, bypass some things. So look at it. The download has started. So I've already downloaded this, right? So I'm just going to pause the download. Now I will go to my download folders or items. You can see VMware is here. So double click the VMware to install. That's the next thing to do. So say yes, but in my own case, I've already installed the VMware, so I don't need to install it again. So once it pops up on your screen, follow the prompts, follow the screen prompts, and then install. So once you're done with the installation, open the VMware. In my own case, I'm going to close it. Open the VMware, and the VMware is open this way. This is the interface of the VMware. Now, before we start, we really need you to understand what this lab is all about, right? What is this particular lab all about? It's all about using a server to manage the entire IT environment centrally. What do I mean by that? In a company, you need to monitor your staff centrally, know their activities, know what they are doing, as well as monitoring your network and applications as well. So that is where this Windows Server comes in. If we were to be talking about another different types of server, we might be talking that, or we will be talking about the Ubuntu server that is hosting a Linux operating system. So I'm just going to give you a little note what the server is all about. Now, what is Windows Server? Right? It is a centralized operating system that was designed by Microsoft for us to be able to use to manage networks, users, applications, and the entire organization's infrastructure. Now, unlike our normal Windows 10 and Windows 11 that we are using to work, a server is going to handle multiple users and devices at the same time. As you might be talking about a company that has up to like 50,000 users and more, all right? So now in that case, so unlike the Windows 11, is going to be doing just mere tasks for us, running our daily tasks and so on. Even if you want to switch user there, it might just be one or two people. But a server can actually handle multiple users and devices. Then it can provide a centralized control and security as well. It also runs authentication, sharing, and web hosting as well. If you want to think about it, it might as well be thought about or be thought of as the organization's IT environment, which is the main brain of it. And then let's look at some of the components that we'll be hearing when we talk about the Windows Server. You'll be hearing something like Active Directory Domain Services. You'll be hearing something like Domain Controller. You'll be hearing something like Organizational Unit, and so on. So let's see what this. Let's talk about the Active Directory Domain Services. What is the work of the Active Directory Domain Services? It is a kind of central directory of the users, computers, and the resources that we are going to be accessing on the Windows Server itself. Now, it's going to enable logging across the network like a single sign-on, and then it will be stored. All the related information will be stored here. Then we talk about the domain controller. What is the work of the domain controller? It is actually a server that is running the Active Directory Domain Services. It authenticates the users, enforces security policies, and then stores the directory data. Now, without a domain controller, there is nothing like a centralized domain control for your users and applications. Now, let's talk about DNS server that you will also hear. What is the work? It makes it easier for us to actually recall IP addresses. For example, remember, see this like a phone book. When you collect a phone number and you want to save it, sometimes you don't remember the phone number, but you would always remember the person's name. So we might not be able to remember the IP addresses, so that is where the DNS comes in to translate IP addresses into domain names and so on. Like what you have here, and vice versa. What you have here is server, which is a domain name, right? And then it's going to translate this to an IP address. Now let's look at the DHCP server. Why do we need a DHCP server here? Remember that the company would definitely have something like over 100,000 users. And these users are going to be using systems to work. Now let's say they have procured systems, maybe 100,000 systems, and they ask you as an IT person to come and configure them. Are you going to be configuring 100,000 devices manually by assigning IP addresses manually? So that is going to be a lot of job for you to do. So in that case, set up the DHCP server. Each time a client connects to it, it assigns an IP address to it automatically. That's the work of it. Then file and storage services. This allows sharing of files and folders across the network, right? Then print services. This allows us to print jobs centrally. Then we talk about the web server, which is going to be, we call that IIS, Internet Information Services. It's going to allow us to host web applications, which is used for internal communications. For some of you guys that are here and you guys are working in the bank, you will notice that there are some applications that you access on your banking networks, right, that are internally, that when you log into your bank central repository, you can see all of them. That's the example of what we have here. Now the group policy, this is what we allow us to enforce the group policy, right? The right groups on users and applications as well as computers, right? So here, password requirement, desktop restrictions, software installation policies, like you choose, can they install software on their systems? You understand? Example, can they actually also update when update is available and so on? Like, can they use USB flash drive? It comes under all these things. Do you understand? If you do not want your users to use USB flash drives on their systems to avoid introducing a malware into the system, that's when you use the group policy as well. Do you understand? And then security components, we talk about the authentication, verifying the user's identity when they are logging in, and the authorization, what they can actually access when they log in, right? And then we talk about permissions. You grant access control, grant access to files and folders and so on. Now we look at the server manager, right? This is a dashboard that is going to pop up as soon as we finish installing the Windows server. And when we promote it into a domain controller, the server manager will do what? pop up, right? Even without the promotion, it should also pop up for us to be able to add roles and features. And then PowerShell, this is a kind of command line utility tool built in for us to use to automate tasks. And then supporting infrastructure, we are going to see that we'll talk about this one. You may not really understand, but when we begin the installation, you understand what the forest is all about. This is the highest level in the Active Directory, which contains one or more domains. One or more domains means that somebody might have something like, for example, prodigy.com, and then he has another company called, let's say, he has another company, let's say maybe Yusuf.com, right? And he has another one, Temi.com. So you notice these are different domains on their own. So these are three different domains. So with this forest, you can bring the three of them under one umbrella. So you choose the one to work with. Are you dealing with Bolaji or Yusuf.com or Temi.com? Do you understand? So that's what the forest is going to do for us. Unlike this domain will only focus on a single domain. You understand? Which contains the users and the computers in that domain, which is what we have here, company.local, all right, for example. And then we look at organizational unit. This is what allows us to simplify the kind of organization of our users, maybe groups and so on. Like for example, you can create an IT group, HR group, and operations, retail, and so many. So now when you create each of them, it makes it easier for you to actually drop the right policy and manage them based on the group level. So you notice that, for example, now you will hear that this group can execute. Let's talk about in the country, for example, we have DSS, we have the police, we have the army. You notice that some of the tasks that the DSS will carry out, ordinary policemen may not be able to carry it out, for example, as well as the army and all that. Now, if you look at that, if you create organizational unit here, you can decide that since IT is superior, you understand, when it comes to technical dealings, in that case, IT will definitely have some kind of granular access to so many things because they tend to control the organization's resources on behalf of the organization itself. So in that case, if you create a policy and you create IT, you can decide to give them permission over all others under the organizational unit. Then we come to the users and computers, users and groups. This is where we have the individual account created under users. Then the group, you can choose to create different groups, right, and assign the permission management. Virtualization components that we are looking at, we will be talking about a virtual machine, which is maybe like the Windows server running VMware is called a virtual machine, as well as the Windows 11. Hypervisor, this is a kind of tool that allows the virtualization itself to happen, which means we can talk about virtualization in a layman's language to be a system inside another system. So for us to bring in the VMware, you know that this VMware is running currently on our Windows system, and we are now going to use it to host other operating systems, which are called virtual machines. So in that case, it simply means that we have another machine running on top of our machine. So that's it. And then we look at the next one, additional important concepts, roles and features. This allows us to simply add extra features to the server. For like example, you have money in your bank account, for example, and that money is in an investment arm. It's not inside your operating account that you can actually see and touch and make use of. So, but now you are kind of maybe out of funds, and you go to your investment account to tell them, look, I need money to bring it to my active account so I can make use of. So in this case now, these features and roles are somewhere, and when you need them, or they need, how do I put it? When the need arises, you go there and say, oh, I want to add new features. Do you understand? And then when you click on the particular feature you want to add, that's when it appears for you to use it to manage whatever you want to manage. We will see how all this will work out. And then the schema, this actually defines how the data is structured in the Active Directory. Trust. This means that up here we were talking about different domains. Now let's say bolaji.com, yusuf.com, and temi.com. These are different companies entirely. But now we have a kind of maybe business partnership agreements, you understand, to come together and do business together. We have a partnership, so that means we will start trusting each other. Now you can now come on this trust and decide to say, I trust Bolaji. Tell me, but you say, I trust Bolaji. So in that case, both of you can actually start sharing information together. Do you understand? Now, we look at the next one, directory services restore mode. This is used to actually repair issues that may arise, right, while using the Active Directory. Then simple real world example, we can actually see that in a company setup, Windows Server runs everything, domain controller handles the logins, and then DNS finds servers for us, while the DHCP assigns IP addresses. Group policy enforces the rules. File server allows us to store files and share them accordingly. And then the client PCs, which is the Windows 11 we are going to use, joins the domain. Right? Just like maybe your team is doing meeting and you want to join them. And then in one sentence, a Windows server is a centralized platform that manages users, security, networking, and resources in an organization. These are the installation steps that we are going to follow. So part of the requirement that is actually paramount for us to do this, on our host machine, we are running Windows 11, and at least it needs to be a 64-bit processor with a virtualization support. It has to be maybe an Intel, for example, or AMD. That's what we have here. And we have the BIOS UEFI enabled. Then the storage, at least 40 to 60 gigabits storage space should be available. And then the RAM size, 8 gig is fine, but if you have 16 to 32 gig, is better off. What else? VMware requirements. We need, in our own case, we are going to be working with, look at the VMware we are working with. So we are working with VMware Workstation Pro. How come we didn't okay. Right, let's go to the lab first so that we can begin the lab installation. Right, stay tuned. This is where the lab installation begins. So, but in our own case, we are going to start with the VMware installation. Look at it here. We've downloaded the VMware, so we just need to. So, if you look at our system, if you want to know if your system is 64-bit or not, to know the right ISO file you are downloading and so on, you could just do press your Windows key, and then type DXDIAG, and then just open it. When you open it, you would see your system specification. All right, so look at it here. So this system is a 64-bit. All right, look at it, 64-bit. You're running a home version. You're supposed to be running a pro version, but it's fine. We'll look at that. Now look at 64-bit. That's it there. So look at the cores. So this is what matters most. So look at it. We're looking for 8 gig minimum. Then we're also looking for 40 to 60 gigabit space. So here we have the cores. We have 16 gig RAM here. Then if you look at the storage, you can see the storage that we have enough storage here. Look at it. We have enough storage. So we have 59 gig on our system, which let's see. I think this should be enough for us to do that, right? So we need to start closing all this. Now let's go and install the VMware now. So we double click here to install it. Let's see. So let's install the VMware. Look at it, say yes to it. And then let's follow the prompts to get that installed. Okay, so next, then accept the license agreement. Next, click on next again, next again, next again, and then next again, install. Now there may be instances that your system may not have Java JDK running. So in that case, you might need to install Java JDK if it asks you to install it before. I think in most cases, might probably Zap. Okay, that's Zap proxy that does that. It's fine. So let's wait for this to finish installing. Our Windows 11 is still downloading. Meanwhile, we have the server. We have the previous version of the Windows 11. So we are looking for the latest version. This is the older version that we downloaded earlier. And then we have our Windows server ready here. And then that's it. So let's see. All right, so click on finish and then launch the VMware. Let's see, it should launch, or we can go to launch VMware. So now we have upgraded the VMware from the previous Workstation Pro to a different version. Now let's see. Let me show you. Just give me a moment. Look at the latest version we're using now. So you can see this one is quite different. So it's actually the same place that we got this from. So this is the same website. So download this and install, and then open it. We should have this, right? Now we start by installing the Windows Server. Click on create new virtual machine. Use recommended. Next. Then this time around, if we import the Windows Server 2022 ISO directly here on VMware, it might not really work, right? So what we can do is that we say, I will install the operating system later, and then click on next. Now, Windows is here. Microsoft Windows is there. Now here, select Windows Server 2022. That's what we are installing. Click on next. Then we are going to, the location is going to be on our C drive. Leave it there is fine. Then click on next. Then the difference between the store and the store virtual disk as a single file and split is that if you store it as a single file, you may not be able to move it from this particular system you are using to host it to another system somewhere else. But if you put it on split, it means you can move it around. So choose split. Then next. Then here, everything is good. Click on finish. All right, that's it. So it appears here. So look at what we are going to do. Remember, we did not attach the ISO file. So we go to CD/DVD, click on it to attach the ISO file. Now select use ISO, browse to the download folder. Look at the download that we did, then pick the Windows Server here. That's it. We're supposed to click on OK, but because we have something else that we need to add, this is a server. So remember the definition of the server. What do we say server is? We say that a server can handle multiple users and devices. So meaning that devices are going to be connected to the server. Meanwhile, it's the server that is going to go on the internet on their behalf. It's not like having a president and having governors. Instead of the state indigenes to go to the president directly, they go to the governor. Then the governor goes to the president. So in this case now, the president is the internet. The governor here is this Windows Server. And then the clients, Windows 10, Windows 11, are the indigenes. right? So in this case now, or citizens, as you may call it. Now, in this case now, our citizens are not going to be allowed to go to the internet directly so that we can monitor them. So that's where we are bringing in the Windows Server. Two interfaces. One is going to be NAT, the other one is internal. Now the one for NAT, that's the leg that the Windows Server is using to communicate with the internet. The other leg is the one that is going to be used to communicate with the internal devices, right, for better security. Now we go to the VMware and then we click on add. Even if you don't click anything, you just click on add. Then select network, which is going to be our internal network. So now you can see we have the first one. This is the NAT that is going on the internet. The second one is second NAT again by default, but we are going to choose a different one. So we select costume and then we select VMnet 2. And then you click on OK, right? So we are good to go now. So if we now power on the virtual machine, the installation process of the local server should begin from here. Now, what do I mean by this? A server is going to be installed, hit any key. A server is going to be installed on probably, let's say, this Windows Server 2022 is going to be installed on a server that has higher capability. Example of these capabilities I'm talking about will be, while your system is using one Ethernet port, that's the network interface card, single, to solve the net or to have internet connectivity, a server will have like that, like 4. Unless maybe newer version of servers might have it more than 4. Do you understand? And then in terms of the power source, I think the latest laptop that we have now, they have 2 power sources. One, the normal charger, the second one, the Type-C. But a server is equipped in a way that it can have it like that in 4 places for redundancy, power redundancy, so that it will not go off in case one power fails. Do you understand? Now, we look at something else. In terms of the network interface card, a server has it like maybe 4 to 8, thereabouts. Why? So that if one ISP link fails, another one keeps the server running, so that the server will not be down, because the server is being accessed remotely, right? So in that case, if it's down, it means it will not be reachable. That's why there are so many ISPs that will come into the server to keep it running. So we're done with that. Now let's go back to the installation stage. Here, leave everything as default. Click on next. Then click on install. Right? Once you do that, it's going to populate and ask us to choose the drive that we want it to run on. So I'm going to pause the video. Next stage, this Windows Server 2022 has like 4 variants. First one is standard evaluation, which you might be using a CMD to run it. And then we have the second one, standard evaluation, desktop experience. We are not looking at these 2. Our focus is from data center evaluation and data center evaluation desktop. But we are going to be using data center evaluation with desktop experience, right? Let's click on next. And then the next thing, accept the terms, the license terms. Click on next. Now, this first one here is actually used if you already had a server running and probably something happens and you want to like upgrade the server. You understand? We are already running this server and you want to upgrade it. So that's when you use this option. But if you are installing it for the first time, select the second option. Then this is the disk space that we allocated to the server itself. So we are going to click on next. And then the installation will begin. I'll pause the video because it will be too long, and then later we'll come back. Thank you. Stay in touch. Right, so you could see it's almost done. Microsoft operating system needs to restart. to continue. So allow that to restart, right? Wait for it to restart. Okay, so the installation process continues. Okay, so you can see getting things ready. It's almost done. Let's see. So here you enter the administrator password. This password now that you are entering, this is what you'll be using to manage this server locally on the system that or on the system that it was installed on. So make sure you remember the password, right? All right, so once we're done, click on finish, and then it will finalize the process, applying changes. That's it. Our server is ready. So once you have it this way, you might have issues logging in. So you can actually go to VM and then say send control alt plus delete. And then once you do that, it will allow you to log in. So enter the password. All right, so you can see applying changes. Okay, so let's see what's going on there. All right, so it is ready. So our server manager will pop up very soon here. Let's hold on. The server manager is still loading. It will pop up here. You know, that's it. So this we are gonna say yes. Just hold on. It's still loading. Okay, good. That's the server manager. All right, so we are good to go. So when we come back from break, we continue. We start by adding roles and features. Or we simply, the next thing we can do here, we have to set the date, change it to our time zone, and then rename the PC and then restart it before we add roles and features. So stay tuned. All right, welcome back from break. We're here. So the next thing we're gonna do, you can just tap your Windows key plus I, right? Then go to System, then go to About, and then the name, rename the system. Rename it to DC, as the domain controller, DC01, right? Then next. So it will prompt you to shut it down. To restart, I mean to say, so we can say restart later, or let's abandon that and see if we can bypass it. Let's see if we can bypass that and set the time zone. So to set the time zone, we go to date and time settings. Let's see if that can happen. Then here we are in, it doesn't allow, so let's say restart later. So here we are in Africa, so we need to select West Africa time zone. West Africa time zone, that's going to be +1. West Africa, right? That's it. Then the synchronization, we synchronize it as well. So notice that the time has changed. Okay, that's it. So we're done. We can now do a restart so that the new name will come up. So I could just use CMD to restart. You run your CMD as admin, and then just do a restart, or probably you can just shut down. Just do shut down. shut down. And then if you look at this, you will see some options you combine. So I can just say shut down /R and then the time t and then 0 enter. So that should shut down the system, restart the system immediately. So that's it. So after this is done, we'll now go over to promoting this to a domain controller. So stay in touch with us. We're done restarting the system. The next thing we can do now, we go back to VMware, VM, send control, right? Then log in again with your admin password. Okay, so having done that, the server manager is popping up. Let's wait for it to come. Okay, so we're good to go now. Now the next thing we are going to do, if you look at the three interfaces that we added, they are here. So click here, go to network and internet settings. We are going to rename the Ethernet adapter. Now go to change adapter options. So look at it. This is the NAT. You can actually right click to see the status. Look at the IP address information. So you can see this is 192.168.5.128. So this is going to definitely be the NAT. Whereas this is going to be this one that has no connection. It has an APIPA IP. You can see this is going to be the internal that we added, right? So in that case, we will rename this one here, rename it to internet. Right? You can call it internet in brackets 1. It all depends on how you want. It depends on how you want it. 1, right? Right? That's it. And then done. Then this other one, you can rename it to internal. Internal, and then in brackets, that's your LAN, right? That's it. Do you understand now? So this goes to the internet. This is the LAN network. So now we are not going to have what we call naming convention for the IP address that you are going to assign to the local devices to use to communicate. So in that case, this is where the knowledge of our IP subnetting comes in. So what can we do? We can do a design to say we don't want someone to know. Let's say, depending on the size of your company, if your organization is large enough, right, you can use 10.0.0.0 network /8, right? It all depends on you. If your organization is a kind of a medium size, you can use 172.16 dot maybe 0.1 network thereabout .0. So it all depends on you. So in this case, we are going to use 192.172.16.0, or let's use dot. I like C Ronaldo. Sorry, I like Messi. Sorry, I like both of them. But I'm just gonna pick one number. So I'm just gonna do this. All right. I'll just do .0/24. So this will go to my what? LAN. That will be my LAN IP. Do you understand now? So in that case now, I'm just going to go to the server to configure that. Right click or double click on it, go to properties, and then go to IP version 4, double click, and then set it to use the following, right? Are we together? So if I set this 172.16.7, then the server takes 1. The max is going to be /24.255. Then the gateway, I'm using 172. I can use the gateway, I can use the local 127.0.0.1, which is the, just a moment. Let's see. Oh, sorry. Okay, hold on. Give me a moment. All right, so we assigned the same. Let's point it to the same router, the gateway. So let's give it. We can either leave it blank or we give it to the same router. Give it to the same router. .1. We can use that as the gateway. Then the DNS, let's point it to the local host .0.0.1. That's all. That's fine. So we are simply saying that this same interface should act as a gateway for us. So that's actually okay. So look at what we had here, /24. So meaning that the router, this system has taken 172.16.7.1, right? That's it. That's what we have assigned, /24, and then /24. That's the IP, and then the max 255.255.255.0, and then the gateway, we point it to itself 172. Point the gateway to itself. Then the DNS, we use a local machine 127.0.0.1. That's like a loopback address that will not fail. That's why we are using this. So this is what we have assigned for the internal interface. Right? That's the network. /LAN. Okay, so having done this, this is the IP address we have assigned. All right, subnet max. So if that's the way you understand it, subnet max, gateway and all that. So that's it there. Okay, so the next thing we can do is that we're done with that, and then click on OK, and then OK again, close. So if we come back again, you can see that let's see status and see if you can see the new address is added. That's it there. Then if you say cmd, and then you run ipconfig, we should see two interfaces. The one, you can see that, and then the LAN, right? Look at the one that goes on the internet, that's it. Then the one that we have assigned, this is it here. So you can see now the essence of, you can see the gateway has changed so that all devices can be able to connect to the internet. Now basically let's see something. If we can actually go on the internet, we can actually try that using this Edge browser to see if we can access internet, or you can even use this to test for connectivity by saying ping google.com for us to confirm if we have access to internet. Let's see if we have. So you can see we have access to internet. So we are good to go, right? And it's connected right here. So that's step one. So the next thing we are going to do, um, we will need to add roles and features. That will happen when we come back from break, so stay in touch. Welcome back from break. Now we are going straight to adding rows and features. How do we do that? It's already here, but you can actually also use manage. Click on manage and then rows and features. Click on it. Then next, here we have two rows. Role-based or feature-based installations. Configure a single server by adding rules. So this is for single server. This one says remote desktop services installation. Install required role services for virtual desktop infrastructure to create a virtual machine based on session based desktop deployment. So if you know that your company, if you notice that some companies are using smartphones, tablets, as well as laptops to always connect to their company's central database to work from. In that case, some of those system types may not have enough storage, right? Example, we call them team clients that JAM is using to host their exams and all that. So in that case, everyone is going to work centrally. When you log in, you have a desktop to work from. That's what the remote desktop, remote desktop service, that's what the virtual desktop infrastructure simply means. But we are going to work with role-based or feature-based installation, all right? Single server by adding it. We are configuring a single server, so click on next. Then the next thing here we do, select a server from the pool, right? This is our server. I think we were supposed to restart the system for this to change. Sorry, we have to restart the system right now because we've not done the restart. Let's do that. So we go back to, we can just click here to restart the system. Let the changes we made. So hold on, restart. So after that, we'll come back. So it's a server. Anytime you are restarting, you always choose the reason. So in our own case, since we are still fixing things, so let's just do that. So hold on while we do the restart. All right, we are done restarting the server. So we go back again, log in with your password. Okay, just let's see. Be config. All right, so everything is okay. Let's see what comes up. So we go back to adding rows and features. We can just click here, add rows, next, row based, next. That's it. You can see it has changed now. That's it. Right. So it's a slash 24, and let's see. Hold on, I want to see. Okay, these are the two IP addresses that we have there. Then I can go to next, and then we are installing Active Directory domain services, which is this. Remember what we talked about? That's why we have to come back here. Active Directory domain services. This is it here, right? Central directory of users, computers, and resources. That's it. So that's what we are installing right now. So click on add features and then next, next again, next again, install. So let's wait for it to finish installing. I'm going to pause the video because it's gonna be too long. So we've successfully installed the Active Directory domain services. You can see here, configuration required, installation succeeded on DC. 01. So what we can do now is to close it. When we close it, we can come to this notification sign and click on it. Now you might be asked, after the installation of the Windows Server or after adding the features, the roles and features, what's the next thing to be done? It is for us to promote the server to a domain controller, right? So here we double click to promote it into the domain controller. Here, click on it, and then now let's take a look at this. Select the deployment operation, add a domain controller to an existing domain, add a new domain to an existing forest, add a new forest. Let's go back to our definitions. What is the forest? Remember, I told you that a forest is the topmost hierarchy of the Active Directory, right? While a domain is just like a segment of it that controls users, its own users, computers, and resources. You remember? So let's check it. Let's check it out. Look at it. Look at it there. Forest, highest level in Active Directory. Look at them. Combination of all these make it a forest. Like we have a tree. We have a tree. A single tree cannot make a forest, right? But multiple trees make a forest. So that's why we have multiple domains make a forest. Do you understand? Multiple domain names like company.local. So I put it here, company.local .local. So that's combination of all of these make what? The forest. So what are we asked here? We are now being asked, add a domain controller to an existing domain. What does that mean? It means that it simply means that you have a domain, right? That means your business is expanding and you also want to expand like the same business line. Like, for example, Yusuf.com was having 10 users before or 10 employees, and now you are having 20 employees, and the space you were using is not enough, and you want to get a new space, a kind of additional space to extend. So they add a domain controller to an existing domain. Means that you have a new space you have acquired, that you want the new employees to stay, but you want to integrate them together. That's what that means, right? Now we go to the second option, add a new domain to an existing forest. What does this mean? Now, what that means is that we are going to look at it again here. We are adding a domain. That means we are bringing a new one here to add. What is that your domain name? Type it. So we're adding a new one entirely here, .local. So you can see we are adding a new one. So even if it's .org, right? It can be .org, it can be .com. Do you understand? So we are adding these two. So that's what this particular option means. That's what this option, the second option here means. But now add a new forest. New forest means we want to start our own, like saying a PLC. You understand? Public liability company, right? We want to start a PLC so that we can have different branches in the future. That's why we are selecting this. Now we put a name, domain name. The local. All right, this is our domain name that we want to use. Next. So just hold on. All right, so take note of this. These are specify the domain controller capabilities. Now, because we are using a local, meaning that we do not really want it to be on the internet. That's why we are using the local, right? So it's just for educational purposes. So here we are going to enter password. This password will enable us to restore our data in case we are having issue with these directory services. All right, we'll use this password to restore data back. So we enter a password that we will not forget. Okay. All right, so enter a password that you will not forget here. It's not supposed to be the same password with the previous one, but if you know you are going to forget it, then enter a different password. I mean the same password, so you won't forget. Okay, so once we're done with that, click on next. Then you can see that it's saying delegation for this DNS server could not be created. All right, because this is not valid. Our domain.local does not have a valid DNS that can be resolved on the internet. So that is why this is showing. But ignore that, click on next. Then the same name will populate here, just hold on, as your BIOS name. Hold on for it. Okay, so that's the name. That's the name that our BIOS is going to have. Right, so we go to next. And then hold on while it populates the whole data and completes the installation. Click on next. Take note, these are the directories that your different files are going to be saved to. Database folder goes to Windows/NTDS, and then the log folder goes to the same place, while the sys volume goes to different place, which is sysvol. Right, click on next, and then that's it. Everything is checking. You can view the script. Now, if you want to use PowerShell to complete the installation here, that's when you view the script and copy the script from here. But since we are using manual, we go to next, and then just wait for it to display the install icon so that we can actually complete the installation. All right, now it has appeared. So click on install. Okay, so the installation process might take some few seconds or minutes to complete. So I'm just going to pause the video while that is going on. So stay with us. So you can see we're done applying changes. So it's almost done installing. Stay in touch. Just hold on. All right, so we here send this thing again. VM send control. So that's it. So we're done promoting it to, you can see, so you can see the name prodigy/administrator. So you log in. I want you to see something that there's gonna be a difference. Can you see it's saying incorrect password, incorrect password, incorrect password? All right, that's it. So having done this, I need you to understand something. When you're running, let me come here so I will make you understand something. Go up, go up, right? This was supposed to be, this is interface configuration, right? Then the second one we're supposed to configure is the NAS slash remote access. Remote access. We'll configure that. Now I need you to understand something. We have what we call local server, which I'm going to show you. We have local, we have global, and then we have security. We have security. I think we have local, global, and the third one is just hold on. I will show you that. Right, let's go. Let me show you where this is coming from. Now, this password that we just used to log in is known as the local server password, meaning that if the server was installed on a PC, for example, anybody who goes to the PC to work on the server, that means you have physical access to the PC itself, and you could enter that password. That is now the more reason why companies will fortify their server room security and not allow any intruder to go in there. Because if they know that password, somebody can go to the physical server and then log in and reconfigure the server. So that password now is called local server password. Now the domain that we have just installed, there's going to be another administrator who is going to be in charge of it. That local server password will not suffice for that. In that case, that is why we need to create a user. Now we go to tools. We now go to Active Directory, users and computers. Then here, this is our domain controller now, right? You right click on the domain controller, right click on it, and go to new. When you click on new, you go to organizational units and click on it. Now we are going to create admin. That means this person is going to be admin. You understand? Admins. Now, if I check this box, protect container from accidental deletion, it means that somebody, another administrator can come up to start configuring this server if I am not on duty. And if the person doesn't know what this admins group was used for, he can as well delete it. So that's why I'm going to check this box to say, I do not want somebody to accidentally delete it. So I will say, okay. Now, admins is now part of the organizational unit. You can see the way they are being arranged. That's what organizational unit means. Now, inside the admins, I'll right-click on the admin here, select the admin, or hover your mouse on top of the admin, and then select another new. This time around, we are creating a user that will be on the admin. And then here we put a user. So I'm just going to put my name. So what is now the naming convention of your company's email? All right, let's go down to check the examples that we've given earlier. So you are going to follow your company's email naming convention. Now look at this. Some companies will use something very common like this. This is one of the most common naming convention when it comes to email. So look at it, first name plus last name. Then most professional companies like banks will go as far as using this, right? First name initial plus last name, right? So now, how do you want yours to be? Go ahead and put it there. So let me know how you want us to create this so you can remember. Okay, so you guys have chosen number 2 that we should create it in this way. So now, look at it. I'm going to include my name here. My name is Michael Songyu, right? In that case, I'm going to form my email as, look at it, first name initial plus last name. I'm going to call, my initial is Michael, right? Then my surname is Isongwu. So I'm just going to say M Isongwu, right? at the company name. So you type the company name dot local. So that becomes my email. So I'm gonna take this. Don't forget. So you have to document this down, because if you don't do the documentation, you may probably forget. So first name, just type your full name there. Last name, type your surname in full. Then the login ID, that's where you now paste that M is on you. M is on you. Do you understand? So you can now see M is on you at prodigy.local. That's it. So you now go to next. Next. You have to now form a password. Now you need to have what we call password policy. That's where password policy comes in. So how do you want your password? Now if you go to, for example, if you go to AI, let's see how we can use AI to get a strong password. For example, give us examples of a strong, right? Give us examples of a strong password policy. A strong password, yeah, policy, as well as a complex password. So let's see what happens. So based on what AI is going to suggest, which we already know, but I just want you to look at it. So look at something like this: combination of both uppercase and lowercase, then numbers, and then special characters make up what? A strong password. So let's see the example. So look at the examples here. But in this case, we are not going to use this because we might not actually remember. So now I'm going to teach you another way you can actually remember your password. So based on this combination, let me show you how you can actually do yours. You can say, for example, you work Monday to Friday, right? And then let's say your nickname. Let's say your nickname is what's your nickname, for example? Let's say your nickname is Malik. So I'm just gonna start with M, then A, then L, right? I can say MA, then LIK, right? Now at how many days do you work in a week? For example, you work 5 days in a week, I'll put 5, right? And then that's the number. Then what is left, we are looking for, we have uppercase and lowercase here, and then we have a special character here, we have number here. So another thing we can actually look for again is maybe how many days we have in a week. We have 7 days. We say week 7, right? So this is a very strong password. Do you understand? Then you can now decide to say, oh, okay, based on the minimum password. Some people might say they want it to start from 8 characters. So this is 8 characters already. So if I copy this and paste it there, right, it will go in. So you just need to document whatever you're doing. So we are doing this so that your users can have a strong password. So I'm just going to type it again, MA, then LIK, right, at 5W7. That's it. Then I will do it again, MALIK, right, at 5W7. So look at it. Now, for companies, it is a must to user must change password at next logon. In that case, companies already have their own default password that they normally send to their users. In that case, let's say some companies might use password $11, right? They can use pass me in $11. All right. So we can craft the password to, companies can have their own default password that they normally use to reset users or send it to users to change to their own preferred password as pass me in $2. So in that case, I'm just going to go there to type, instead of typing the other password that was complex, I'll just say pass me in $2. Then come back here again, pass me in $2. So if I now say next, now it should create that account. Finish. So you can see the user has been created. So the next thing we can do now is that we need to add this user. All right, we need to add this user to a group that we have here that will be able to manage this domain for us. So in that case, you right click on the user and say add to a group. What is the name of the group? By default, you don't know the name of all the groups. You can just say advanced and then say here find now. So all the groups will come up, all the groups will come. So we are looking for not just administrators, we are looking for domain admins. So go down, you will see domain admins. Look at it, domain, can see, over your mouse on it, you should see the full name, domain admins. Double click on it. You can drag this up, right? That's it, domain admins. I'll click on OK. So that's it, domain admins. If I click on OK, the user has been added to domain admins. So this user has permission now, right? So in that case, but now, this is the actual sense. So if we switch user now, watch what will happen. The next thing we need to do now is to switch user to log in with that new user that we have just created. So I will go to administrator and go to, I can go to sign out. I don't think I need that. Let me see if I can do something like this to see if it's, if we can lock the screen, right? So here, can see switch user. Now it will ask us, that is why it's the domain controller now. So multiple users can log in concurrently. So I'll go back here, click on others now. Then when I click on others, I will now enter that my email. What was the name? M Isongwu. Remember? And then password, pass me in $2. If I click on next, it will say change password. So you can see user password must be changed because we said that this thing, right? So now I want to now go and bring the complex password that I use, which is this, Malik at 5W7, right? Now we use that complex password. I'll say Malik at 5W7. Malik at 5W7. All right, now click on the eye. You can see it's logging in. That's it, password changed. So it will now allow you to gain access. So a new window will be open. A new desktop will be configured for this particular user that has just signed on. Do you understand? So this user now is the chief admin of the domain controller. All right, so we're good to go. So now you can then perform some magic on your domain controller. Now let's go to the next feature that we need to install, remote. We've done this. We need to go to, we are no longer using this, so let's just set this as default password. Default password, then password, so you won't forget. You get email, name, email, all right, so we're good to go now. So the next thing we do now is to go up and see the next feature that we are going to install, which is remote access. What is remote access used for? It's used to allow the clients to access this server remotely. So it's a feature. That's when we can now go to add roles and features again. because this guy is a domain controller. That's why we are using him. And then exactly, you can have multiple depending on what you want. So you go to next, then the same way we did before, next again. But this time around, you notice let's see. So click on next again. Then this time around, look for remote access. Look at it here. Remote access. Then click on next. Click on next again. So you can see the group policy is under the remote access. Click on next again. Let me see if there's anything that we need to add, or we can add internet. Let's see, maybe we need to add anything. You can add some other features later as the need arises. You can add them, but for now I don't think I need anything. Let me see if IIS is there. It's not enabled, so I can enable that. Right, let's see. Check for me IIS, hostable web crawl. All right, so let's see. So I can just go to next. Later I can install the rest. Next again. So here, check the first one, direct access and VPN. You can see that. And then add it. Check the second one, routing. Then click on next. Next again. Next again. Next again. You can see we have something here. So if you want to install any additional features here, you can, but for now leave it at default. Right, then go to install. That's it. So it's installing. I'm going to pause the video. Once it's done, once it completes 100% here, we come back again. So for now, see you back shortly. All right, so we are done installing the remote access, and here we have to say close, and as usual it is here. You can see we have notifications right here, so but it doesn't matter. So all we need now is that you can open it from here. You can also open it from tools. So if you come to tools, you will see it under remote access, right? You can see remote access. So this one is different. This one is remote access management. So this is what we configured, routing and remote access. Click on it and wait for it to open. So that's it. So this is it. Let's click on this. Right click on this and right click on. Let's refresh it again and see. We can actually refresh it and see. But basically, this is our domain. So we can right click on it and then say configure. Configure. Then click on next. Now we want to choose which of. Pay attention here. If you look at this place, it matters most. We are configuring remote access. This is where company decides how clients should access the Windows server. Are they going to use VPN to access it? Are they going to use NAT? Are they going to use, you can see this is VPN and NAT. Then this is secure connection between a private network. But we are going to use NAT, right? We are using NAT. So click on next. Then the network should display here. But if they are not displaying, what we can do is to close it and come back. So it's supposed to, since use this public IP interface, they're supposed to display here. Let's see. You can see nothing is displaying, so we can't go up, we can't go ahead. What we can do is we can actually exit and come back again. Exit and come back again. Remote routing and remote access. It has not populated, it has not fully populated. Let's see. refresh, right click again, refresh again. Then we can go back to configure and enabling routing and remote access. Select the NAT again, click on next. So you can see we have it now, right? That's the way it's supposed to be. So you see, this is why it's good to actually rename your interfaces, right? So now we can actually know that this one is for WAN and this is for LAN. So we want the WAN to go on the internet. So this is the IP address. We select it, next, and then finish. So once you're done, you should see that it will turn green here. Let's see, finish, configuring. Okay, so let's see, it's almost done. All right, so now if we now right click on this and refresh, then come back, you should see that we have IP version 4 and IP version 6 now. Now let's go to the network interfaces. You can see they are all enabled, right? These two are dedicated. This is loopback. This is for internal. Then we go to the remote access and logging. Is there? Go to IP version 4, right? Go to general. Let's see what we have. Static routes, the NAT interface, the Internet Group Message Protocol. They are all there. Then you could see the IP version 6 as well. So we're good to go. Everything here is fine. The next thing we can do now is to configure the DHCP, but we'll do that when we come back from the break. Thank you and stay with us. All right, the next thing we are supposed to configure will be, I think I've not taught you guys this. I will show you that. The next thing we're supposed to configure is DHCP, so that when client connects to DHCP server, the next feature to install. I think we've done this one. This one was initial configuration. So these are the features that we have installed. Features / rules. All right. So the first one we installed was Active Directory Domain Services, right? Then the second one, then the third one is DHCP. So let's go to, we've done this remote access. Now what we need to do now is DHCP server installation. So let's see how that works. So we go to the server. Now having installed all these things, we go to manage again, manage, click on add roles and features, click on next again, and then click on another next for us to see. Look for the DHCP server. This is it. Oh, hold on, DHCP server, then add features. That's it. Next again, then install. That's all. So once that is done installing, we can now configure the IP address. While this is going on, let's see what we had. Now this is what our IP address is going to be. In terms of the range, we will use 172.16.7.0 or we can actually use, let's say maybe something like 100 down to 200. Let's just give it, right? That's the scope. And then the max, subnet max is /24. So we have 255 172.255.255.0, and then the gateway, we point it to the router itself, 172.16.7.1 that we configured earlier, which is this, remember. And then the DNS, we point it to it as well, 172.16.7.1. That was what we configured earlier. All right. So this is what we'll configure under this DHCP server. Okay, so that's it. This is what we are going to follow to configure it. So let's see if it's done. Yeah, it's done. So we click on close. Then we go to look at it. We go to DHCP under tools. Look at it. It has come up. So click on DHCP. Then it loads. Look at it there. Here. You can see we need to configure it. So on top of the IP version 4, right click and then go to new scope, next. That's where you enter the name. The name, just say 172.16.7 dot. You can put it 172.16.1 the 100, I mean the 7 the 100. Let's give it that scope space hyphen to 200. That means we need only how many IPs to connect, like 100 IPs, right? Then description of what is your server all about. You put the description that you want, my local PCs or anything, local PC connection to server. So anything you want, you can do that. That's it. Then you go to next. Now, what is the starting IP? Well, what do you want the IP to start from? Your router took 1, so you can start from 7 to 100, 72.16.7 to 100. Then the ending, let it stop at 200, 172. Then let's go to the next one. The length is /24, so change it to 24. Just type 24 /24. Hold on. So just you can use this to hold on. This is /24. Okay, in that case, we can use here to type 255.255.255. That's it. It will change it by itself. Click on next. Then let's come back again to confirm if that's it. It has changed. So go to next. Then starting IP. So we might not actually need the starting IP here again, right? Because this is for, DORA, this is for delay. We are adding exclusions and all that, so we don't need it. This is if you want to add exclusions. Now, exclusion is in the sense that, let's say among the devices that are communicating, you want to bring in some other devices like maybe a router on your network or a switch, and you want the switch to connect statically. You want to reserve an IP, just like when you go to maybe a club or a bar, you see where they call VIP table. That means somebody has been somebody has paid for that table and they reserved it for the person. So in this case, if you put any starting IP here, you could just say our IP is supposed to start from 100 to 200. So you could just take maybe from 10 to 15 and reserve. Do you understand? That's what that means. Then you click on, but since we don't need exclusion, we just say next. And then here, it's saying limited to set the duration and scope when the list. Now, the list is very important, right? It helps us to change our IP addresses within a specific time. For example, let's say this week, Monday to Friday, you came to the office, or you are in the office working. On Monday, you are going to connect using maybe 172.16.7.1 or let's even say .2, I mean to say, or based on our scope, you are going to connect using 172.16.7.100. If you come tomorrow, you might still connect using the 100. You come next tomorrow, you might still connect using the 100. Now, that is dependent on what the number of days here the admin set up. But now, if the admin set up the number of days or hours to be every two days or every three days, it means that after 3 days, you are no longer going to be connecting using 172.16.7.100 to change to another IP entirely. That's what the list simply means. So I don't think we need a list time. So we can leave it as default and then click on next. Then here it says, I want to configure these options. Okay, you can actually fine tune whatever you want. So this one is saying we should configure DHCP options. Yes, I want to configure. Next. And then here we just point it to the router's IP 172.16.1, right? That's the router's IP now, the default gateway. So next, then we should click on add. That's it. Then we click on next. So that's it there. So everything is fine. So we just pick this and then go to next. So we don't need server name to. It says to configure scope clients to DNS server on your network. Enter the IP address of the following. So we are cool with this. So that's it. Then we don't need this for now. We can do that later on. Windows Server converts NetBIOS. If we need it, we can use this to configure it. But aside from that, we can also leave it blank and then go to next. Next. I want to activate it now. Yes. Yes. Finish. Let's see. So once we're done, we should refresh and see what happens. Refresh. Let's see again. Refresh it. If it's okay, it will turn green. So we can close it and come back again to check. Go back, DHCP. Let's see. Okay, I'm supposed to activate. Sorry, I was supposed to activate. Just give me a moment. Let me see that. Refresh it first, and then it should be okay. Now, when you are done, and then we're done with the configuration, and we've done a refresh here. So the next thing we are supposed to do is to authorize this scope that we have just set up. So go to the which is this domain controller that we had. Right click and then say authorize. So if you do that, it should be able to turn green now for us to use it. Now let's see if it's been authorized. When you authorize it, so you can see it's been authorized. The next thing we can do now is to refresh. That's it. So it's well set up now. You can see it's green now. So that's it. That's the scope that we set up. Then that is it. So our lab is complete this way. So the next thing we can do now is to join a domain. We've successfully set up this particular lab that we had a topology, right? We've completed it now. The next thing we can do now is how to join a domain, how to join a client to the domain, right? But before then, we can actually create a user. Now let's see how to create a user on the Windows server, right? Remember, we are logging in with the domain admin to do this. So what we can do now is go to the server manager, click on tools, and then Active Directory, users and computers. So this is where we need to start creating our users. Now click on the prodigy.local, which is your domain controller, then right click on it, right click on it, then go to the next thing you have to do to organize your users, right? Like your teams into groups. You go to organizational unit. You can go to organizational unit, create a new organizational unit. You can call it Prodigy Limited, for example. Prodigy Company Limited, right? So give it any name that you want. Limited, all right? This is your company name now. Click on OK. Now under it, right click on it. Then you now create another sub-organizational unit. So what do you call it? IT department. Just IT. That's it. Okay. Then right click on the health again. Create your units that you have. Create all of them there. So you see you can have as many as you want, right, under them. So keep creating, keep creating. Now you are done, right? Let's say you are done. Now you want to introduce under IT, you can have a group under your IT, right? So you want to have a group under your IT, you can as well create a new group under your IT. Go to group. What is the group name? Type the group name. For example, let's say system admin. So you have your system administrators. Then now, coming back to what we were discussing earlier about the group scope in Active Directory. We have 3 group scope in Active Directory. We call that group scope. Group scope. So you see the first one, we have the local. The second one, we have we have the domain local, we have global, and then we have universal. So global, and the third one, universal. So I'm going to explain what they all mean, right? 1, 2, and then 3. So in case you are going for an interview, they might ask you how many group scope do we have in Active Directory. So we have just 3 group scope, right? I will explain what they mean. Now let's go back there. Let me explain. If you are on domain local, that means the system that the server is installed on, that is where you have access to. If you are on this global, that means you are the one in charge of the domain controller. The domain, for example, prodigy.local. Then if you are on universal, that means you have access to multiple domains. Prodigy.local and temi.com and so many others. Now, when you go to group type, we have 2 group types. Security means that this person has a kind of granular access, while the distribution means that this is just like a pass-through something. A pass-through means that What the security means is that you have some granular access, like you guys are maybe like the technical guys, but the distribution means like in a team where they send an email to customer care unit, for example, and everyone receives, and maybe a member of the group now replies the email on behalf of others. That's what the distribution means. So if you are added to HR group, it means that anything sent to the HR group, you will receive it here. Unlike the security that they have to use policies to administer access, like the administrator guys and all that, right? So in this case, we are going to create the group, the admin, system admin as universal, right? And then security, then okay. That's the group that we have given to the IT. Do you understand? Now, let's create somebody under the group now. We right click and create a user under the group. So if you want to create, we can actually add a user later on. So, but if you want to add a user right here, just look at it here, create a user here. Look up, create a user. So give it a username. Remember your naming convention that we had. First name initial plus the surname. So now first name initial only. Then the surname. Good. All right, next. Then the password, the default password is pass me in. I think it was $2. Pass me in $2. Right? Pass me in $2 again. All right, now by default, pass me in $2. By default, all user creation, all right, should always have this unless you are creating an admin account. But now we are creating an admin, so we'll remove this, and admin is supposed to be, we are not going to use this. Do you understand? So let's just use this for demonstration purposes. Pass me in, and then uncheck this. Then here we say password never expires because it's an admin. This is not the password we are supposed to use, but we just want to use it for educational purposes. Please don't do this in the actual, setup that you are using for your company. So click on next, then finish. Let's see. That's it. So a user has been created under this IT. Now you can move the user to the system admin group. Let's see. By right clicking, right click, then add to group, system admin. Just type system admin. Okay, check name. That's it. Okay, that's it. It's been added. And now both of them are under IT. Do you understand? So this is how companies will keep creating different organizational units and be creating subgroups under them. In IT unit alone, there are several other groups under IT. You are aware? We have the infrastructure and security. We have the cyber security guys. We have the programmers. We have the digital analysts and so many others. Do you understand? So you can keep creating them. So now we go to HR, create a group under HR. HR too, we have groups, different groups under the HR. Like senior, maybe, what do they call them? All those decision makers under the HR. So I don't know what you want to call them, or you can just go to sales first. Let's go to sales, senior, maybe you can call managers, can create managers, you understand, as a group. All right, good. So the manager should now be under distribution. That's good. Then, okay, good. Now create a user to belong to the sales. Good. Then the naming convention, don't forget. All right. pass me in, uncheck the box, pass me in $2. Then uncheck the box when you are done creating the password. All right, so uncheck the box. Now let's make this bigger, right? So that maybe you can see very well. I'm sure you like it this way. Okay, so all right, now let's go to IT again to create a group called IT support. No, right click on the IT, yes, the new organizational unit. Okay, group is fine. IT support. So now we want to implement something special. Okay, that's fine. No, security. Okay, that's okay. Now under the IT support, create a new user, and move it to IT support. Body, call it body. All right. Body Williams. Okay, so B Williams. B Williams, that's the login name. All right, now next, pass me in $2. Pass me in $2. All right, uncheck this because we are using it for educational purposes. And then next, finish. Now move Bode Williams into IT support. Add to group, add to group, add to group. Just say add to group. Add to a group, IT support. Check name, good, okay. All right, now let's discuss something very important here, right? Now I want to show you how companies do. I think I should just show you how companies do their kind of. How do companies delegate roles, right, to maybe their staff or external companies that are consulting for them? Now, if you come here under, that, go to IT support, or you go to Bode Williams, right? Bode Williams, just over the mouse over it, or probably we can just go to our, let's see, prodigy healthcare, then right click on it, say delegate control. Delegate control. Now we want to assign a role to that IT support so that it is not everything on this domain controller that the IT support guy can access. So in that case, add the guy's name, Bode Williams. Check name. That's it. Okay. Now, next, let's see what we can do. Now, this is what companies are using to assign a kind of job responsibility to the IT support. If you notice, IT support guys have limited access to companies' organizations, IT information and resources that we may talk about. So in this case, what do you want these IT support guys to do? Most IT support guys' roles are only to reset user password. Abi, is there any other thing? So in that case, you look for password reset. Look for password reset. Reset, that's it. That's all. That's all they do. So you click on next. Next again, finish. All right, now you can go to the group as well. Now we did it for just Bode because the Bode is a IT support guy. Now let's do it on top of the IT support itself. So right click on the prodigy again, delegate control. This time around, we are going to pick IT support so that anybody that is added to IT support will not be able to do any other thing aside from password reset, right? So go to add, select IT support, check name, it exists, okay, and then go to next. Now go to the same password reset. No, there are two things we are going to give IT support. It's supposed to be password reset and add a client to check. Go and check. Add a client to the domain. There should be add a client to the domain. Let's see. Or add a client to the domain. Create delete. No, it's not allowed to. Create delete manage groups is not allowed to. Link policy is not allowed to. It can generate, we can allow him to generate a report, but that's not necessary for now. And then let's see, we can go to costume. All right. Okay, so for now, we just let's continue with what we did earlier. So we'll go back and then click on next. So let's just delegate the following: reset user password. So I'm going to set it back to the delegate the following user password. So that's the only thing we want them to be able to do. Next, anybody in IT support, this is the only thing they can do. So now you can actually switch the user to see if this user can be able to delete a user from the system to see if it works or not. Do you understand? So in that case, we can come back here and say, we can even use here to say send and switch the user. Let's see. You will notice that it will not be able to even log on because it's not approved unless we now use unless we add a client to it and allow him to log in. So this is what we can do now. Log in with body. Let's log in with body. So we say body, we go to others and say body B Williams. Then the password is pass me in $2, right? Pass me in $2. Notice that because it's not, you can see, let's see, pass me in $2. Let's see something. You can see the sign-in method is not allowed because he is not a member of the domain admin. It is only Michael Isonglu that is the domain admin member. That's why this guy cannot log in. Do you understand now? He's not an admin. The only way he can log in is when we now enable add a client, which is Windows 10 or 11 workstation, to connect to this server. This guy is known as authenticated user. For us to show you that, watch this error message. Now let's switch back to Michael Isonglu and then log in. What did we use here? Malik, right? I think we used Malik. At 5W7. Let's see. That's it. Don't forget. Now let's see something. Let us now go to, you notice that the guy is not able to log in. The next thing we can do here for him to be able to log in, that is where we need to add a client to this Windows server. How do we do that? We go back to our Windows 11. We were downloading Windows 11 here. Look at it. Downloads. So if I look at it, that's the Windows 11. It's done downloading. So we can now go back to the VMware and say File, New Virtual Machine. So we want to bring in a client now, and then here we pick Installer, browse to the folder that contains the Windows 11. So this is the newest version of the Windows 11 that we downloaded, and then open. So it's right here. Click on Next, and then go to next again, then put a password, enter password that you remember, your own password. All right, you click on next, then you click on next, next again, then finish. That's all. Now once it's done, we are not supposed to power it up. We are supposed to change the network interface. Instead of allowing it to use NAT, we are supposed to make it to use the VMnet 2 that we added to the server. So right now we made it to power on. We are going to power it off. Look at it, right? So go to the network adapter. Don't allow it to use NAT, because if he uses the NAT, that means he can actually go on the internet on his own and bypass the server. Do you understand? It's going to work like your normal system that you are using at home. It's no longer going to be a domain controller system. So in that case, we'll remove that's why you notice that in your company's laptop or PC, you cannot go to the internet directly by connecting your own mini Wi-Fi to it, because they have disabled all those things using the group policy. So let's see. We go to NAT, change this NAT to custom, then VMnet 2. When you put it on VMnet 2, the server will be, the Windows server will be the one to release an IP address to him when it's powered on. So click on OK. That's it. So you notice that we only have that VMnet 2 interface now. So if you power this virtual machine on now, this is Windows 11 that we are trying to make a client. It is going to work with the server. Immediately it comes up. The IP, click on here, click on any key, tap any key to load. I've done that, just tap any key to load and wait for the result. All right, so hold on while it's coming. I'm just going to pause the video so it won't be too long. Here, just put your mouse inside it again, then select SATA CD-ROM drive 1.0. Then it will prompt you to hit any key again on the screen. That's it. So your Windows will start, installing. Let us see. It's kind of instantiating. So now we have Windows 10 ready to be installed. Click on next. Next again. And then, yes, agree to the terms. Then next. That's it. I don't have the key. I don't have the key now. I don't have the key. Okay, then it's loading. Let's see what happens. Getting things ready. So once your internet is connected, you get this. But if you want it faster, in most cases, you might need to just disable your internet connection for it to be faster. Okay, so we are going to work with, if you work with Windows Home, you will not be able to join into a domain controller, because that version of Windows will not work. So that is why you need to switch to Windows Pro, right? So we go to Windows Pro, Windows Professional. Accept the license. Okay, just hold on for it. While it's loading, now select the disks that you want, the disks that you want to install it on, and then hit next. Okay, click on install. Good. So the installation has started. I'm going to pause the video so that it won't be too long. When it gets to 100%, we'll come back again. Stay in touch. Thank you for watching. So let's hold on for the installation to complete. 33%. We'll come back. Right, so we're here. The next thing we have to do is to select the language for the Windows 11 installation. Leave it at United States. Once that is done, okay, so the next thing is the language, US, yes. The keyboard, we are going to skip this for now. And then wait for it to load. Wait for it to load. Okay, so the next thing we can do is to, all right, manage. So we're gonna skip this.
Manage first. We'll use tools.
If I want it to
you can see add rules and features. Now remember I said that
I'm gonna skip this.
So don't worry about what it's saying here.
Let's see.
Blah 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 blah. This is the installation wizard. So let's just let me
right. The system is checking for updates.
So next. Now this
hold on for it.
Why
the Windows 11 is checking for updates,
right?
Let us go back to the Windows server. Let me show you why it is very powerful in managing workstations. Okay, so right here now, I'm going to create a user under these cells, right? I can right click here and then create a user under the cells.
DNS. Please, we will understand DNS
right here, and then I will say,
next week or two.
Let's say,
what we'll do networking on networks.
I'll call this Malik.
All right, so adding the features.
Malik Voix, right? It doesn't go where. I can just call it that way.
And then static IP address was fine. Don't worry about this. Just continue.
That's it. Then next.
Networking class will understand all this better.
So these are not going to change it because I want to demonstrate something. Okay, pass me in.
Fine. Now you can all these things come prepackaged but not installed. So if you want to, run.
So I just want to demonstrate something. So I'm not going to change this. I will leave it as it is.
Server. So if you are running
now I want to show you what companies can do with this particular user,
right?
Or all the users in a particular group. So let's say we have. Let me create something like. Look at this. You have some set of people.
Okay.
A group called maybe contract or service executives.
Here,
service executives that execute services for you, and you just want to give them a kind of look at this. So I'll put them under distribution, and then that's it. Global. Next, and then this group is created, right? Where did I create that group?
Just going through to be sure.
That means they've done. Oh, sorry. It wasn't supposed to be a group. It was supposed to be a kind of.
All right. Yeah.
It was supposed. I was supposed to create
next
the service executive.
And then
I was supposed to create an organizational unit, right? So sorry, organizational unit. I'll call them service executives.
All right. So next.
Service executives.
Next again.
So here, okay. Now under the service executives, I will move this guy that was in cell.
We have installed.
Au revoir.
So
I'll move into the service executives, right? Look at it. Under the domain controllers, sorry, Prodigy Limited, service executives. I'll move him there. So he's right here now, if you check. Now let's see what we can do with him. We want to, let's say he has forgotten his password and we need to reset his password for him, right? How do we reset the password? We can actually go to, properties, right? Click and go to properties. Then you go to account. Then under the account, sometimes they report that a user has been locked out of the system, probably because they attempted multiple passwords many times. So in that case, you don't need to reset the password. What you just need to do is to check unlock the account to be unlocked, and then you say apply, okay. The account will be unlocked. But in a case whereby the user can no longer remember the password, all right, and you want to reset the password, that is where you go to properties, or you simply right click the user and say reset password. So in this case now, I can give him a new password by saying just let me in $2, right? Just let me in $2. So you can see that user must change password at next logon. I can uncheck this, but if you want to reset a password, the best thing is go with the company's default, which is pass me in $2, right? And then retype it, pass me in $2. So then check this box, user must change password, so that the user will be communicated with this password. You send this password via email to the user to say, this is your default password, change it to any preferred password of your choice. Do you understand? So click on OK. So now the account user password has successfully been reset. Now, when you communicate the default password, pass me in $2 to the user, now you go to an email and draft a mail. For example, you could have something like this. Let me show you. In a company, you can say, dear Ovua, right? You say, kindly
so let's just give
be informed that your password reset request has been treated as follows, right? You can do it this way. Default password. You can give him an instruction. Please use the default password to log in, and when prompted for password change, right? When prompted for a password change, please choose your own preferred password. So you could see that. So you now state the default password, so that the user will see, which is pass me in $2.
You can see
that's all. So with this, then you can close it. Thanks, right? Or thank you, or regards, anything. So once you send this from your IT unit, right? Now, who is sending the message? Let's say Michael.
So this
is somewhere, for example, I'm just using that as the IT person.
So you may have pending things that need done.
Then IT so if I unit. Click on it, you understand? So when you send this to Ovua will receive. Let's see how we can apply this when the Windows installation is done, right? That's one. Number two, the next thing we can do, we can also create a user. Let's say we give a user a probational. Let me show you something. I will come on AI. Draft. Watch draft.
Done. I just
draft a. Don't worry about the spelling to correct it. Draft a.
And then
provisional
do this, promote the server to a
far later,
controller, right?
or probation or anyone,
so
far later,
we'll come here
for over what Malik for 6 months.
Okay, so we have here
under
doing a new one, so it's add new forest. If you have an
local
existing one, you can add it a domain to an existing.
You understand?
This is a fresh one, so add new
as
forest.
a service
name,
executive.
Let's create something like.
I want to show you something.
Concurrent.
Executive with salary of
right.
150.
Remember in the domain name, so
months.
You need to add
right.
Next. Functional levels. Let's leave this as Windows 7
just a moment.
2016.
Right, that's it.
Forest functional level for the domain.
Let's see what happens. So I just want to show you how we can apply this on the. Now take a look.
You can go lower, but 2016 is the best since we're on 2019 version. Password.
Access must. All right, look at it. So you can see position, employment. You can see
so create
the contract is for 6 months, right? Now,
here.
6 months.
In case your
6 months starting today. What is today's date? Let's go check today's date. Today's date is 28, right? 6 months starting today. So you want to create over here for 6 months. Now watch. You want it to expire in 6 months time. You right click over here and go to properties. Go to account and then come down, put end of. Right? Now today is 28th, which is the beginning.
Now another thing that
between now and
about Active Directory.
So we go to AI between
like
May 28th. How many this thing?
Like a database.
When is 6 months? When is 6 months time from today's date?
It's different. Why?
Let me show you something. Today's dates.
Why are they not the same dates?
Do you understand? So 6 month time from today's date is gonna be October 28th. So we come here and apply.
Yeah, it's the same.
October.
So Active Directory works like a database.
That's
those of us that know.
Let's see. Let's be sure.
It's the way it works. Is
October, right?
You are
now we come here to select October 28th.
So it's like a database, like a library.
And then you click on apply.
Keep books in the library. You can
apply.
Hundreds of thousands of books that are
October 28th, obvious access will be automatically terminated from the system. If you try to log in, okay, let's even do something. Let us do something for you to even understand. We create a new user and use today's date as expiration date to log in, and then you will see what will happen to the user. I'm gonna call this Mike
Directory. So there's a physical part of it.
Mike 10th.
So we're working on the logical part, right?
Then here MTNT.
Right, so next.
Then pass me in $2. Pass me in $2. Right now, this guy has been created. Mike has been created, right? Now, Mike account should expire today because we want to employ him for 1 day rule. This is what in cybersecurity we'll be calling this giving access to just-in-time access, like giving access to a kind of maybe a staff or your project developers to expire when the project completes. They shouldn't be able to access your system again.
Like an internal,
so in this case now, we go back to the properties and go to account. Then the end date, you put it as today again.
Just note this down.
If you do that,
remember, just
account will expire today. So now let's see that my 10th. When we are done, so this is the we will log in using the other domain controller, or if you want that to happen, we can actually add him for you to see what's going on. We can try to add him to administrator, right? Let's add him to a group called domain admins and see what happens when we try to log into his account.
Go to that location just
since we are still installing the Windows, so you can see it's been added. Now let us switch let's switch user to see how it works.
Also where it has its log files.
Switch user. We log in with my 10th.
Folder structures and all that. but they're all in this
I hope you are
mainly
following.
this NTDS folder.
So let's see.
And then
And we log in with my tent.
I don't know what this is.
That's M tent.
But it shall comes with that.
Then here, the password is pass me
so if you need to
into
recover,
dollar. Let's see what happens if it will allow you to log in.
This is the location.
Okay, that means it has not taken effect already. It's not taking effect. It has not taken effect. That's exactly till 12 a.m. That's when it will take effect. So sorry, I have to like go back. Right? It has not taken effect. So we need to wait 24 hours before that can happen. So I need to switch back user to that removing because that's not the purpose of what we wanted to do. So that's basically how you create them.
All right.
And then the last thing I could show you before we go for this particular session, let me see.
Next.
I'll go back to my domain controller, Mike Isonguyo, because we are rounding up already.
Okay, so I'm having an error. Why?
Right. So we are rounding up already. Just okay. While this is logging in, we go back to our Windows to complete the installation. So here, give it a name. No. The name is gonna be a user from it or a branch name. Give it a branch name.
One or more.
The branch name, because this belongs, or let's call it HQ. Okay. Let it be that this workstation is in the headquarters.
To be this DNS option.
Headquarter 01. Do you understand? Or branch main branch.
I'm not connected to
main branch.
Internet, so
that's where this main branch 01, right? That's where this PC is going to be. So next. So let's see, we are configuring the clients that we are going to join to the server. So while that is going on, we'll come back.
Connect.
I think we've demonstrated so many things that we needed to do here. The next thing that remains is that my tent, you can, populate this information like the address. You put in the address here, where it's working from, the branch office and all that. Do you understand? Then, does it have remote control? You select it here. Member of which department? You will see all of them here. And then dialing, is there environment that is working from? The profile, this profile matters. If you have a server or you have a dedicated virtual desktop you want it to work from, you can put the path here now. Do you understand? Like a cloud space that you have that you want your guys to sign up to. That's where you put this. Then the telephone numbers, populate them here. Name of the organization, you fill it here. Job title, department, company name, the manager that is under, you fill them here. And then that's basically what it is. And then we go back to the account. Under the account, you can see we have a lot of other things. If you want the user to sign up with a smart card, authenticate with a smart card during login. That's it here. You check this. That means your company might have established a kind of cryptographic system in place. So you do that and then come down again. You see a whole lot of things you can do. So the encryption type, you can choose AES, 256, which is more secure. And that's it for the authentication algorithm. So that's it. So once you're done, you can remember that we set an expiry date for him. That's it there. The logon hours is very important. This is what I wanted to show you guys. Logon hours means that a company is dealing with a lot of financial constraints,
thank you, sir.
at this point in time, and they really want to cut costs. They say our opening time is 8 a.m. and our closing time is 5 p.m. or 4 p.m. thereabout. That means we want our systems to be on by 7 a.m. Before 7, nobody can log in. And after 5 p.m., nobody should log in. Do you understand? Nobody should remain in the office to burn diesels and all that.
If not,
So in
I
that case, you
can
set up a logon
shut
hour.
down this,
Now, logon
then
hour
connect the
also is working for
other
people that are
panel
in
and
shifts, that are doing
start
shift
the
jobs, like those people in the security
connect of
operations
it,
center
but I did not need
and
it
so on,
initially.
that they work, maybe their shift
This
is
inside
from
the
2
console.
p.m. down till the next morning.
Okay.
So in that case, you do
So
not want them
this
to log in
is
when it's not their shift. So you
okay.
can just come here. For example,
Inside
this
the
guy
channel.
can be set up to work Monday. Look at
This
it,
is
Monday
this
to Friday. So you just set up, drag Monday to Friday this way, right? That's it. When you drag Monday to Friday, let's see, Monday to Friday, that's the remaining days. That's why it's like this. Then, are you granting him access or you are permitting him access? So in this case, we want to grant him access to work Monday to Friday. Click on OK. That's it. So logon hours has been applied. Now, log on to how many systems do you have in your company? How many branches do you have? You have plenty branches that you like, for example, Yaba, Lagos, and so on, that you want him to log into all of them. In that case, all computers is what you will select. Do you understand? But if you have a particular branch you want him to work from, you don't want it to be changed.
Password.
That's why you can now come here and select or put a computer name. These names will show up once we finish installing the Windows 11. So let's hold it here and come back to Windows
The
11 so you can
names here.
understand it. So here now we are going to set up
So
for, this is for, we are going to do set up for work or school.
okay. So let me restart.
All right, so
Let's just
here,
close everything and reset it.
this is the last part of this. So here we are going to select for personal use. Click on personal use. Then next, because the school didn't work out, we didn't want
Okay.
to go through some protocols.
All right. So we're back here. Let's see
So
what I can
that's it. Wait for it to finish up.
promote to domain controller.
All right. So I don't want to install my Windows 11 with internet access. So I will just press F10. It will open the command prompt for me.
Okay. So
Fn and F10. Command prompt
you
will open
okay
for me.
now?
So I will just type
And it
in
can install now.
OOB,
All right. We're
OOB, then
moving on.
space, then backslash bypass NRO. Let's see. Sorry. OOB. Hold on. Let me check if right. So this should be back the other way around. So enter.
So all
Let me
these
see.
warnings, it's not errors.
All right, together. So that's it. So you run the command together, no space in between them, and then to install the Windows 11 without internet access,
Invalid.
so that it will not waste much time. That's it. Give it 1 minute. It will finish up.
So the issue was connected to
All right. So you
any
can see it's
network adapter.
rebooting.
My network adapter was turned off.
That's it. So we are almost done. All right. So almost done. Next. Let's see. Just a moment. Oh. So once it's done, the next thing we are going to do is just to use. Right. So leave it here. Skip this. We don't need this. Skip it. Let's see. Okay. Let's. So enter the name, and then the name is HQ. So just enter your name HQ and then type in next. I mean, click next, and then it takes us here. Just a moment. So this is the last stage, and then after this, it will belong to the domain. I will show you how it works with and without the domain. So, all right. So here you put a name, computer name, it doesn't matter, just put any name you like.
Now you
Then the
have
password, any password you like.
curate
This
has
is
been
the
added
local
to this is the
password
first thing you
on
will
the
notice.
host.
Curate has been added
It
to
doesn't matter
my
at all.
as the domain
Then confirm the
to all the
password.
users on this system, right? So
It still
anybody you
doesn't
add
matter.
to
And
this
then
group
next.
or this
So here we are
Active
just going
Directory
to
group would
select
be under
what's your first
curate,
name.
right, as the domain name or as the forest.
And then what's your second day? Which city were you born? Just anything is fine as long as you can. Then next one, what's your cousin's older name? I think that's better. So anything is fine, right? So we're good to go. That's the that's the last stage is configuring the desktop environment. So after this is done, we just hit the Windows key plus I. Let me show you the commands that will run next to join, join a client, join a client to a domain. Press your Windows key plus I together, then select systems, select about, then go to advanced, advanced options, then add, rename this PC, select add to domain, add to a domain, enter, enter domain name. Domain name is prodigy.local, then enter admin username. Admin username is M Isonguyo, then backslash prodigy.local, and then the password, enter admin account password. So password, you know the password that we entered. So once that is done, you hit enter key. So that's it. So this should join this should join that device. Unless maybe anything is wrong there, let me confirm. So if anything is wrong there, that's when. So this is the remaining steps. Let me confirm that using AI so that we are sure that we are in the right track. So just a moment so that you can complete the rest on your own because of time. Sorry, complete the rest on your own because of time. So this is it. Let's be sure that the steps are correct. Correct steps. So this is it. Correct steps. So follow this. All right, so the final step, it will ask us to correct this thing. Okay, so you can see here we are using, so let's see, so incorrect, this was incorrect. All right, so these are the steps that you can use to join it into a domain from here. That's it. So this one is done already. So these are the steps. So if you follow these steps, you will be able to join it. Thank you so much, and I will see you in our next video. So stay in touch. You can use the available button to get in touch with us if you want more of these videos, right? We have some other features that we can install and work with. But for now, we will limit it to these ones that we have installed here today. So if you like this video, share it and recommend us to others. If you want to join our live sessions, feel free to reach out to us and we'll attend to your request as soon as possible. Right? So I'm so happy, and we'll see you in our subsequent videos. So let me see, maybe I can just do this. All right, let's see. All right, let's see. So this is not done, and we are past our closing time, so we are not able to do that right away. We're not able to wait anymore. So thank you. And if you want just that, we can show you how to do that later on.
I really
Thank
want
you so
to
much
increase
for
this rank
watching.
for
All right, welcome back. So what we're gonna do now is in this video we want to complete the joining of the Windows 11 to the Active Directory Domain Controller, which is the Windows Server 2022 that we installed earlier. Remember that the Windows 11 was not ready yet that time, and we're moving past our closing time. But right now, we want to show you how you can actually join that to the Windows Server. So for us to do that, come to the Windows Server. Windows Server to log in this way. Place your mouse inside it and then hit enter first. Then go to VM, send Control plus Alt plus Delete, and then it will allow you to log in. So here, at W7, all right. So that's it. So log in with the local domain. Is that the domain controller this thing that we used to log in? I'm not sure. Are you sure? Domain controller.
Michael.
All right. So we log in with the domain controller's information, and then go to tools. So if you go to tools, click on directory users, Active Directory users and computers. You will be able to see the domain name that we supplied earlier come up on the screen. So this is the domain name that we supplied, prodigy.local. So that's what we are going to use on the Windows 11 to join it to the server. Now let's go to the information that we just need are just 3 numbers only. This is what we need: the domain, and then the domain admin, which is that sign-on I use now, because that is what can approve it. Then the password of the domain admin. That's all. So in that case, the shortcut to open it on Windows 11. All right, now to open it on Windows 11, you can use 2 methods to do that. Number one, you can come to your Windows 11 to join it to the server, can press your Windows key plus I or Windows key plus X It will take you to settings straight up, and then you select settings from here. If you select settings, then go to systems, go to system rather, scroll down to about. When you scroll down to about, scroll down again, you will see domain or work group. But in a nutshell, you can actually use the shortcut Windows key plus R, and then you type in sysdm.cpl and hit enter. So let's see where that one is taking us to. You can see that one is taking us straight up to this place here, which is the same thing as clicking the domain/work group. So in this case, I will just click on change. You can see to rename this computer, click change. So currently, the computer already has a name. So if you want to give it a name, you can go ahead and do that. But I don't want to give it a name. In this case now, I want to change it so that I can connect it to the domain. But let's actually explore this and see. So we don't need this. You can see we don't need this. This one is if you are opening environmental variables. This is the Windows 11. Oh, all right. So sorry. I was running that on the host machine. Place your mouse inside this. So and do that. So inside the Windows 11. That's it. So look at it there. Go to settings. Then from settings, scroll down. Go to about. And then scroll down. Click on domain or work group, and then click on change. So when you click on change, you can now see member of work group. So we want it to be a member of a domain. Click on the domain. Now put the domain name prodigy.local. All right, now let's confirm the information to be sure. Look at it, prodigy.local, and then the domain admin that we created the other time, we need to include that, because if not, it will not go. So what we can do now is click on OK, and then it will pop up a window for us to enter. So now you see that we now do prodigy.local / then the name. The name is M. Isong Uyu. All right, there's no need to complete it in full because it's the same domain name extension. Do you understand? But if you want to complete it in full, you can also complete it in full, right? But there is absolutely no need to complete it in full. But just in case you want to complete it in full, it's also okay. So if you want to complete it in full, you can as well go ahead to do that. But I'm not going to complete it in full, so I will leave it here. Then the password, I will just enter the password. So you know yours, and then if you click on OK, let's see, can see this Windows will restart by itself. That means it's now part of the Windows Server 2022. You will see it appear. Now if we come here, under computer, after restarting, we will see that computers, under computer, you can see it's already here. That's it there. Right, now let's see what happens. You can see it's saying, welcome to the prodigy.local. So with this, your lab is halfway complete, right? Now let's click on OK. It will ask us to restart the system. The system is going to restart. Look at it. You must restart it. So click on OK so that it can actually restart the system. Now after restarting, the system is no longer going to be managed locally. It's now going to be managed from the Windows Server. All right, so let's see. We can actually open a terminal here to restart it manually if the restarting is not taking effect. So type cmd and then run it as admin. Run the cmd as admin, as administrator. Let's see. So click on yes. Then the cmd will open. Just type the command. Let me show you how to shut it down using the cmd because we are supposed to master some of these commands. Now, go to the CMD, just type in shutdown, shutdown, shut down, space, then we are restarting R, then dash T, then 0. So what this simply means is that this R means to restart, this T means the timing. So we are giving it 0 timing, meaning it should take effect immediately. Hit enter, it will restart the system immediately. All right. So after the restart is done, we'll now come back to the Windows Server to manage that particular client. So it is now our client. So we can actually install another Windows like Windows 10 and still bring it under it as well to master it, right? So I'm just going to, the system is restarting. I will pause the video. When it's done, then we come back. All right, so the system is restarting. All right, the system is done restarting. So let's go. So log in to the Windows 11 again. So you can see this is the initial this is the local account that we had on this Windows. So now we have to switch user by saying others. So if you go to others now, you will see that the user we created the other time that we demonstrated. Let's go to users. Go to the users. Let's pick the guy we created that time and made this account to expire. You used to remember what's we created we created some users. Where are they? And put them in a group. Where? Just hold on, let's see. We created some users that day, so just a moment. So this is it. So this was the company of this thing, organizational unit we created. So under the service executives, we created somebody called Mike Tent here. I think we made his account to expire. Let's check account expiry. You can see this account was supposed to expire. Let's now demonstrate what we did that day. So you can see today is today's date is 2nd of May, and this account was supposed to expire on this is expiring 28th of May. All right, that's it. So let's log in with this user. But meanwhile, I don't think I know this password. I think we use the default password. So let's try the default password that we used. We go back to the Windows Server. What is the name? This is the login name, how it's going to appear. Look at, that's it, M10. That's how it's going to appear. So we go to the Windows and try to log in with it. Double click on the Windows. Now click on other user. Log in with M10, right? Then on the norm it's supposed to be, look at the way it's supposed to be, prodigy, but it doesn't matter. prodigy.local /M10, all right? Then the password, I think it was our default password. Do you remember? Password. Are you sure? I think it was password. Hold on, let's go check. Let's check the password we use. All right, let's check the password that we used that day to create them, which is the default password that we use. If we can't remember, then we go and do a password reset. So it's still part of the process. We documented, I think we have some documentations now. Okay, this is it. Pass me in. That's the default that we use. So that's it. So we use that to log in. Pass me in $2. I'm very sure that was what we used. All right, then log in. Let's see. So I think that's it. No, something is wrong. Okay, let's see if we remove this. And then leave only this. And then say pass me in $2. And then let's see. Okay, that's it. It's logging in. I made a mistake in the password earlier, so it's not because of the prodigy. So you can see it's logging in. Now let's see, it's preparing the user's desktop on the server now. So if we come here now, you can see on the server, you can open your CM. Now, after logging in from the Windows 11, you can see it's preparing. Now we'll find out there are some commands that we are supposed to run on the Windows 11 to be sure that we are connected to the Windows server. Do you understand? So take note of the Windows server's domain name, which we already have as prodigy.local. Right? This is the name. That's the domain name there. So take note of it. So when this user logs in, we should be able to confirm that he logs on to the domain controller. Let's see that. Okay, so Windows 11 is back after the restarting. So open your CMD, all right? On the Windows 11, let's check out something. Just type CMD, CMD. CMD. All right, while the CMD, we are waiting for CMD to open. We want to run some commands to be sure that this Windows is actually connected to our domain controller. Okay, double click on the Windows on the command prompt. And then run ipconfig, right? ipconfig, let's see the IP address that is going to use. And then also try to ping Google and see if we have internet connectivity and all that. Of course, there's internet connectivity on the system. ipconfig. So now, when you look at the IP address, you will remember that we were the ones that gave this. Remember when we were configuring the scope of the DHCP? You remember? You can go to the server. Now, based on this IP address, go to the server. Let's confirm what we configured. Under the server, go to, under the server, click on VM, then send. Okay, let's see, login at 5, then good. Now go to tools, go to DHCP. We want to see what we set up that time so that you can understand. Now when you go to DHCP, double click on that, double click on it. Now go to IP version 4, double click. So you can see this was what we set up. Double click on the scope, let's see. No, that's fine, it's okay. Address pool. Okay, so you can see what we set up. We set up from 172.16.7.100. The ending IP is 172.16.7.200. So you can see, now go back to the Windows server, Windows 11. So you can see this one is taking 100, which is the first client that connects to the server. All right, now type in a command, say, who am I? Have you done that? Let's see. Who am I? What is it showing you? So you could see that's your user login. So this is how to know that you are on a server. Do you understand? Then what other commands can we do? We can actually do ARP space A, ARP space dash A. Okay, what can you see there? You can see all the, we can see the default gateway and other, which is from the server. Look at it, 16.7.1, which we have there. So let's see what we can explore again. Ping google.com. Let's see if we have internet connectivity. Let's see what we can have there. Okay, so you can see we can reach internet. Now run who am I again, then /, let's see the group, space, space, / group, add S to it, groups, enter. So let's see, these are the groups that this user belongs to. You remember that we created him and we put him under a group. Do you understand? Now, for us to see all these things that we are having here, let us go back to, so you can see that if you look at it, look at prodigy. access is denied there's no problem. Now let's look at different security groups. You can see domain admins and so many other things. All right, so you will see them all here. The next command that we can actually run, let's run another command to see care list, which shows the Kerberos ticket. That's authentication information. Enter. So you can see these are the authentication information that this particular client authenticated today, Windows Server. So you will learn more about Kerberos. If you want to learn more about Kerberos and the entire Windows Server, you can reach out to us for our live session to enroll with us. All right. So you could see, look at what's going on here. These are the processes taken. This is a client. All right, that's the client name, and then this is the domain name. Then look at the server that's hosting that, and then the ticket, Kerberos ticket, encryption. So you see everything here. All right, now let's continue. One of the commands we can also run on the Windows 11 client, all right, to see that it's connected to our server is the ipconfig/all, which is this ipconfig/all. Look at it here. Then /all. That's it. So this is the information of the server. All right, that's it. That's everything about the server. Then the next command we can also run under networking and connectivity will be to ping the server, ping the server, the domain controller, prodigy.local. Enter, so you can see the client is able to communicate with the server. This is the server, and then this is the client. Then the next command we can run traceat. All right, traceat means if there is an issue with the link, we are tracing the route. That's it. So you can see it has gone through. There's only one. There's not even only one IP address available, which is the default gateway. Let's run the next command, nslookup. nslookup to look up the DNS resolution. Then prodigy.local. All right. Then the next command that we can run under the remote access, if you want to launch remote desktop to connect to the server from this particular client, that is if this client is allowed, like the username here is actually allowed or is a member of that remote. Now look at this. Look at if you want that user to be able to, remember it's a service executive. So in that case, we might have to switch to an IT person. We might have to switch it to an IT person. Look at this. Let's see our users. So look at that person is under service executive. He's not supposed to have access to certain things. So, but if you switch to an IT person, which is any of these guys here, Femi Joe. If you switch to Femi Joe, we should grant him permission to do that. Do you understand? To run remote desktop and connect to it. But then for learning purposes, we want to stay here at the moment. So we go back here. Let's try to run remote, access to the server by running mst. So just type, let's see, mstsc. Let's see if it's, so you can see, that's it. So open it and then enter the server's IP. What's the server's IP? This should be the server's IP. Type it here, let's see. Or you type the domain name. Look at it. It says domain name. So type prodigy. Sorry, let's see. Hold on, give me a moment. Then mstsc. Hold on, let it come up. Sorry, I was running the other one on my whole system. So let's see. Enter the domain name, prodigy.local. Then connect. Let's see if it goes through. Let's see if that goes through. Or do we know the computer's name? Connecting to prodigy.local. Let us see if this user is allowed. Remember I said it's just for educational purposes. If not, it is an IT person that should have this access and not the service executive, right? So you can see he is not allowed to do that. So that's fine. That's fine. So we can actually let's keep that. Let's keep that. There are some other things like let's go to like a kind of file sharing. Let's go to file sharing. So in that case, we use net use, net space use, no net space use. That's all. Let's view the mapping. Use. Enter. Let's see the mapping. So there are no entries yet. There are no entries yet. Let's do something. Net user, right? Net user, we want to get info about the domain user. So continue the username, mtent, then backslash, not that one. Okay, we can use forward slash, the domain prodigy.local, enter, let's see. So you can see that command is not, just hold on. What did you use? Okay. No, complete now, prodigy.local. This one can't do it again. Right, so now let's we want to run a command to actually get the user and group management on the domain. So simply type the user, like net user, that's the command, net space user, then space slash. We are going to use the forward slash. Then let's see. Enter, let's see. Okay, we can actually do domain. Hold on. Domain. Type the domain. Domain, yeah, enter. So you can see this is the domain that we are connected to. These are the people on the domain. Are you there? All right, so this is the domain here. That's our domain name. Now the next thing we can do, we need to look for this user that we are using. What is the username? You type the username, mtent. That's the user we are using. The mtent is in small letters, so change it to small letters. And let's see. Space. Enter. Let's see. So now you can see the information about mtent coming out on the screen, and what he has permission to do in all that. So you can see password information as well. They are well detailed here. And then the next command we can actually do is to look up the group. Hello, good afternoon. Now, having done this, the next thing we can do now to manage the windows to manage the client, which is this Windows 10 from the server now, right? You can come here, go to the server again, send in this, and then log in. Remember, we have created another user account as admin as well, so don't forget. Do you understand? Just hold on. At 5, then W7. All right, so this is what you can do to manage the user. You can go to this PC now, watch. Under computers, you notice that that's the computer that has come up. So you can right click on this computer and go to properties. This computer, you see, you can disable this account If you disable it, nobody will be able to use it. So let's try something disabled. It says disabling the computer account HQ prevents users on that computer from logging in on this domain. Do you want to disable this computer? We say yes. Right? It's disabled. Now let's go and try to log in. Don't worry about this. Let's try something. Let's even do kind of restarting. Let's do something like maybe a kind of switch user. So tap this setting, Windows settings. Then we can actually do restart, for example, or we do switch user. Let me see if you can do switch user here. So we can do this Windows key plus. Sorry, just hold on.